I'm back with another video, and today I'm changing the oil filter housing on this 540i.
My girl from my back like what you smoked before. Hypocrites just turn it to a
Can pretty much tell it's been leaking for a while.
What comes next? You've been freed. Do you know how hard?
If you have a B58 powered car and you're wondering why you're leaking oil and coolant on the driver's side, you might want to watch this video to the end. Also, before I get right into it, let me know what's your dream car in the comments. Oh, and don't forget to unhook the battery. Now, the first step I usually do is remove the engine ECU, which is the DME in BMW terms. Now, this takes a little bit because there's a lot of wires from the harness, but once you get it out the way, it is easier to remove some of the coolant hoses on the intake manifold and under the intake manifold. This is possible with the intake manifold on, but it's way easier with it off. Now that the DME is removed, now I have to remove the bracket that holds the DME into place. This bracket is held on by two 10mm bolts. Now what I'm doing here, there are little plastic tabs that hold some of the harness on. I'm taking that off here. Another thing you will notice there are little plastic clips that are connected to the harness as well. I'm taking those off. I don't like to break them. Some people break them. I do not. So I take my time and take those off correctly. As you can see, this does take a little time. It's time for me to lift up the car and drain the oil and the coolant. As you can see, we already have a puddle here. Let me remove these shields so I can give you a better visual of what I'm talking about. Drop a comment below, what's your dream BMW? Okay, my lighting might not be that good, but let me see if I can show you guys. So if you look pretty much below the driver's, like the driver's side, you would see all of this oil. Let me see if I can fix this. All of this oil. But if you look up here, like right where that cooler is, that's how you know it's your oil filter housing gasket. When you see everything covered in oil over here. So let's get this drained. I'm gonna get the oil drained from here, and then I'm gonna drain the coolant, and then move on to removing the intake manifold. Like the video. The oil's not that bad. I don't have a hoodie on today, but usually I do. But check the link description below. Check out some of my merch. Ah, I missed one. Here. All right, I took all the shields off in the front just so I have a better way of, well, it gives me more space pretty much. I could see more. Also, I usually drain the coolant from over here. There's a auxiliary pump. Drain it from there. Won't splash on the shields there, stuff like that. Once the oil stops draining, I'll put the drain plug, drain the coolant here, then I'll drop the car down and remove the intake manifold. Also, if you guys missed my last video, I had another 540 that I put coilovers on it. I didn't get the video of that, but I did put a Valvetronic exhaust on it. I'll link it at the end of the video. Make sure to check out the video if you like the 540i content. Now with this oil filter housing change, we are doing a full coolant flush, a full oil change. So we're pretty much freshening up the fluids and stuff like that. When you do something as big as this, you definitely want to drain the fluids because you don't want the coolant and the oil mixing. It'll cause more problems down the road. Now let's get this oil drain plug on and drain the coolant. Just gonna lower the car down so I can take the coolant cap off and watch the waterfall. Like the video. All right, now here's the fun part. Removing this intake manifold. All right, now I'm gonna take off the charge pipe, take off this harness right here, and we should be good to go to removing the intake manifold.
From being me.
Okay.
Now it is good practice to keep all your bolts organized and together. You don't want everything all messy and you're trying to figure out where the bolts are. It's not fun. Angles kind of weird. I did forget to mention there are coolant hoses underneath the intake manifold, but once I take this off, you guys can get a better view because trying to see the hoses, me showing you the hoses while the intake manifold is on, is almost impossible. But let me take this off. So right about here, now it's time to remove the 10mm bolts that hold the intake manifold on. Now let me show you guys the hoses I was talking about. There's two here. These kind of suck to take off. Those are the only two. Well, there's one more right here for the coolant reservoir on top. That's easy to get to. And then there is a throttle body connector. Now let me grab my vacuum. I have to vacuum all this up, make sure nothing goes inside the engine. But this is a better view of what is underneath the intake manifold. All right, now let's get into it. Now, this, I really don't have nothing to hold my leg. Let's see if I can put this here. Make this easier for you guys, well, for me. Okay, so when you're looking underneath the intake manifold, this is the main coolant line. Now, as you can see, this is brown. Now that is a clear indication that that hose eventually if it's not leaking now, it will leak later. So while you're under here, you want to definitely replace this. That's the coolant outlet pipe. This right here is the main piece that we're changing. I am changing this as well, but this is the main piece we're changing, the oil filter housing oil filter housing, not just the gasket. Okay, I found a better place for my light. So like I was saying before, this discoloration pretty much tells you that this was getting super hot, stuff like that. So this has to be replaced. Oil filter housing has to be replaced. The oil filter, not the oil filter, the intake manifold gaskets have to be replaced as well. And then that's about it. But I'm going to go ahead and remove the coolant pipe that's right here and the oil filter housing so I could show you guys the components themselves. There is going to be a part 2 to this video, maybe, I don't know. But I am replacing this one, not with an OE one, but with the aluminum one, which I'll show you in a minute why. Now the bolts for this coolant pipe right here are E8. There are 3 of them. Right. Here's a better look at it. Now let's get the housing out. These bolts are a little tricky to get to. Just take your time. I always say that, but this, really take your time. Oh, that won't fit.
If y'all get a picture, she said she need a big old booty, call her by the builder.
So just looking at this, you can tell it's been leaking for a while. Maybe the customer didn't notice, but this is definitely getting fixed today. Let's take a look at the engine. One gasket did stick. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. Let me move this coolant hose. This one. Right there. Oil filter housing is out. As you can see over here, you can pretty much tell it's been leaking for a while. Gonna get this replaced and then come back with number 2, video 2 of installing the aluminum oil filter housing. If you made it to the end, make sure to check out this other 540 here.